So friends, today we are going for another lecture. In the last lecture, we have seen about some of the basic definitions related to probability, just like random samples, random experiment, sample space, event, etc. And then we have seen about counting principle. So counting principle, in this we have involved two concepts of permeability and combinations. Permeability means NPR and combination means NCR. And then we have seen some of the examples based on this. Now we go for the main questions, main topic of probability. That let us see now what is probability and how to find the probability. Okay? Okay. So now probability of an event we can find. We require some sample space and event. We normally denote event by E, or else we will also denote events by ABC also, or E1, E2, E3, etc. This kind of symbols we will use for the events, and as normally we will use for the sample space. So the probability of event can be obtained as, once again here I would like to repeat that event is nothing but the subset of the sample space. A sample space is the set containing all possible outputs or outcomes during the random experiment. So probability of E we can find as number of elements contained in the event E divided by number of elements contained in the sample space. N bracket E means number of elements in the event E, or else we can also say in other words that the number of favorable outcomes relevant to the event E. So this is the simple definition of probability of E. So wherever, one more thing here you should remember that whenever this symbol is not required, then normally we will denote the probabilities by P1, P2, P3 and so on. But mostly if there are one or more events, then we usually denote the probability by P bracket into bracket E. And sometimes we can also write this as M and this as N, that means M upon N. So now let us see one example, simple example. Then let us see, we will see about some of the properties of the probability. So one example is that what is the probability of getting an odd number while tossing a die. So this is the very simple problem. Here solution, you can see we want to toss a die, and we know that die contains 6 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 on each face. A single number, there are 6 faces on a die. So when we toss a die, there are 6 possibilities we have, either to get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. And the event, which is the event now? Sample space contains 6 elements. That means sample space, here you should write in a systematic way, s equal 1, 2, 3 up to 6. And now we will identify which is the event. Event is to get an odd number. That means event E we will denote by getting an odd number. And we know that the odd numbers are 1, 3 and 5. So these are the members of the event E. So the probability of E can be obtained very easily. The number of elements in E, we can see that there are 3 elements in E. And the number of elements in the sample space, there are 6 elements. So the probability is 3 by 6. That means 1/2. So the probability is very easy to obtain. Now, let us see another example. What is the probability of getting a king from a pack of cards? So first of all, here simply in probability we require to identify the two things, the sample space and the event. Here the sample space itself is a pack of cards, and the event E is to get a king. That means a single card we want to draw. So number of elements in the sample space will be 52C1 because there are total 52 cards, so this is equal to 52. And the number of elements in E, king, to get the king, we know that there are 4 kings in a pack of cards. So out of 4, we will have the chances to get 1 card in 4C1 ways, and this is 4. So the probability of E is now 4 upon 52. Okay. So this is the required probability. So these are the simple examples which I taught to you. Now let us see some of the properties related to the probability. So now see, the probability, you must be knowing from the school level that probability always lies between 0 and 1, including 0 and 1. It will not exceed. And if in percentage form we see, then the probability lies between 0 to 100%. Okay, is it clear to you? And then we will see an probability for impossible event. Impossible event, so you must remember this definition also. Impossible event means, see, where no element can be involved with the event. Such kind of event is known as an impossible event. Suppose for an example, if we consider a tossing a die, and we know that the die contains 6 numbers there, so there are 6 possibilities to get. But if our event is to get a number greater than 6, see, once again, our event is to get the number greater than 6, then we know that the number of elements in the event E will be 0 because the die contains the numbers from 1 to 6 only, so we cannot get any number which are greater than 6. So in this case, the probability of the event E will be 0 by 6. That means 0. And this event is known as an impossible event. So sometimes this event E we also denote by this one. Okay. So this is the first kind. Then we will see what is the, we can also denote this as phi also. Okay. Now what is the probability of the sample space itself? This is very simple. You can understand this very easily because here S itself is an event. So this is nothing but number of elements in S divided by number of elements in S. This is equal to 1. So probability of the sample space itself is always equal to 1. Now suppose now we consider that P is the probability of an event E, and Q is, that means P is the probability of elements E, means P is related with the occurrence of E, and suppose Q is the probability of non-occurrence of E. Non-occurrence of E. Non-occurrence means the opposite side of this one. That means here we will denote this by E bar. E bar. The E bar means complement of E. Sometimes we also denote this as E raised to C. Complement of E. Then obviously P plus Q equal to 1. That means the probability of occurrence and plus probability of non-occurrence. This is equal to 1. So this is sometimes also known as complementation rule. Complementation rule. So here we are looking about the properties. Then we go for another thing. Suppose A and B are two events, any two events of related to the same sample space S. Then we have probability of A union B. That means the probability of occurrence of A or occurrence of B. Any one may occur. So this equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. A intersection B. So you can see this is very simply you can understand it. But now in the same thing, if the events A and B are mutually exclusive, mutually exclusive means we have in the last lectures we have seen that mutually exclusive events means that the occurrence of one event prevents the occurrence of another. The two events does not occur at the same time. That means one event prevents the occurrence of another event. That means we know that there is no element in common in this case between A and B. So A intersection B equal to 5. That means probability of A intersection B equal to 0. And therefore in this case when mutually exclusive events are there, then probability of A union B equal to PA plus PB. Okay? Have you understood? Okay. So now another type, let us see, multiplication law. Yes, multiplication law of probability. Multiplication law of probability. This is also very much important and we will make use of it repeatedly. This law is used to find the probability of the combined events of the two or more independent events, and these independent events belongs to the same set. That means if A and B are independent events, then probability of A intersection B equal to PA into PB. That means if they are not dependent, So this rule also we will use repeatedly in our further study. So these are the basic concepts and these are the probabilities which we have seen. Now let us consider one example. We consider one example. Suppose a machine produces a machine produces 10 objects of which 3 are defective. If 4 objects are chosen, at random, what is the probability that none of them is defective? So this is the very simple problem. Simply you require to understand something. Read the question carefully. We can see that a machine produces 10 objects. That means there are total 10 objects which we have obtained during our experiment, of which we know that 3 are defective. That means 7 objects are non-defective. It is very clear. So you should write everything that machine produces 10 objects, of which 3 are defective. So in solution, you must show something from the question. So your solution looks very nice and very decent, and you will get at least 1 mark from the question itself if you write this the given things in a systematic way. Now what is to do? 4 objects are chosen at random. That means here we want to choose 4 objects. So these are the cases. And then also you can write one more thing. What is to find? To find the probability that none of them is defective. So here, as by the definition of probability, we require to know 2 things: number of elements in the sample space and number of elements in the event E. So what is the sample space? Sample space event. First we focus on event. Event is what? 4 objects are chosen at random. That means event is to choose 4 objects. Choosing of 4 objects which are not defective. This is our event. So we want to choose 4 objects. So how many elements will our sample space will contain? So obviously the number of elements in the sample space will be, there are total 10 objects, out of which we want to select 4 objects. So the total our experiment will give us total number of outcomes is 10C4. And then how much elements are there in the event E? So in the event E, we want to get each of the 4 objects must be non-defective. Must be non-defective means there should be the selected element the elements which we have selected should not be defective. And here we can see that out of 10 objects 3 are defective. That means 7 are non-defective. So we will have to choose them from 7. So the number of elements in E is 7C4. So our probability of E will now is 7C4 divided by 10C4. And we can solve this very easily. 7C4 can be written as 7 factorial upon 3 factorial into 4 factorial. 7 minus 4 means 3 factorial. Here 10C4 means 10 factorial upon 4 factorial into 6 factorial. So you can rest of the work you can do very easily, because 10 factorial can be written as 7 factorial into 8 into 9 into 10, and this 6 factorial you can write as 3 factorial into 4 into 5 into 6. So this 3 factorial can be cancelled, 7 factorial can be cancelled, and other numbers you can multiply very easily. So probability we can find out very simply. But one thing required is that you must focus on everything. Now let us see one more example. From a pack of 52 cards, from a pack of 52 cards, 3 are drawn at random. 3 are drawn at random. Then find the chance that they are a king. Find the chance that they are a king, a queen, a king and a jack. So solution. First of all, write down the basic information which are given in the question. So here in the question we are given that given a pack of 52 cards. In the second line you can write 3 cards are drawn at random. Then the event E. Event E means event E, then semicolon you must write down. Event E is that the cards are king, queen and a jack. So the 3 selected card must be this. This is our event. So to find out the probability, first of all we find out the number of elements in the sample space. Number of elements in the sample space means nothing but general case. This is the most general case. Out of this one, 3 cards must be of this type. This is our event. But in general case, we are selecting 3 cards. These are at random. So 52 C3. This can be done in this way. Now we go for number of elements in the event E. So given that in event, among the 3 selected cards, one must be a king, and we know that there are 4 kings. So one king can be selected in 4C1 ways.